I have to remember to unmute myself one of these days. Good morning, everybody. Decided to get started just a little bit early today, so I figure we may end the stream a little early today, but good morning. Good morning. Hello, Faye. Good to see you. Thank you all for joining us this lovely Monday morning. I've got a nice little cup of black, which one is this? Oh, this is the Kirkland, the Costco brand Pacific Bold. So cheers. Hopefully it won't be as bitter as the Colombian one that I had yesterday. Oh. Mm. Nope, that's pretty bitter. But it's okay. But it's okay. I'm very tired. I am extremely tired this morning. I hope none of you are as tired as I am. Tell you what. Mm. I don't know. I did great this weekend. I got a lot of great sleep this weekend. Slept in Saturday, slept in Sunday. Had a lot of sleeping to catch up on because I was dead exhausted come Friday. I think it was Friday night. I was watching Ed Raby's stream, the Rabid Atheist stream, and I was like literally falling asleep sitting up watching that stream, and I was like, I need to sleep. Mm. So good morning to you all. It's good to see all of you. Ah, hello JP. By the way, thank you for being here this morning, early this morning. Oh man, I don't really have a lot to talk about today. I think today is just going to be a quiet catch up Monday morning because we got a lot going on. I mean, obviously, what's his face? Rudy Giuliani's in the hospital in critical condition, no less. Oh no. Oh, I'm feel verklempt. I'll get some toilet paper for him. He'll be fine. Don't worry. If you don't get that joke, I'm not sure I can help you. Or maybe I could help you, but I don't feel like explaining it right now. Yeah, so that's all I really got to say about Rudy being in the hospital. I was a New Yorker for most of my life. Kind of regret rooting him on when I was a New Yorker back in 9/11. Those are, those are the regrets you don't think about until you really think about them. When you're just like, oh man, that Four Seasons landscaping thing that he did between a sex shop and what was the other thing? One of them was a sex shop and the other one was something else. I forgot what it was. that that press conference he did about how Joe Biden stole the election. Oh, you want to talk about embarrassing political moments? Rudy Giuliani, post 9/11, Rudy Giuliani, America's mayor, probably just the longest string of embarrassing political events you could possibly think of. Mm, that's not true. There have been politicians that have had more embarrassing careers, but not a lot. Oh my. Oh my, oh my. One of my friends is trying to get me into an MMO again. Don't ever get into MMOs, folks. I'm telling you, it's a bad idea. Mm, it's a bad, bad idea. But one of my friends is trying to talk me into doing Final Fantasy 14 again. And I'm just like, oh man, don't make me play Final Fantasy 14 again. I've already lost my life to so many other things. Do I need to lose my life to MMOs again? Mm. Another one of my friends is trying to encourage me to do the Final Fantasy 11 server emulator thing so that we can get a group together and do like a retrospective video. And I'm just like, oh man, don't make me do that. don't don't make me do that. Mm. Ah, yeah. It's some good black coffee. It's some decent black coffee. Yeah, I gotta admit, Costco makes some pretty decent stuff. They don't make great stuff. Costco doesn't make excellent stuff, but they make decent enough stuff, you know? Make decent enough stuff. Oh, I got some news for you this weekend. I got a shakedown by one of the by a DoorDash delivery driver. Oh man, you want to talk about never ordering from DoorDash again? Holy crap! This sucked. This absolutely so I ordered a bunch of stuff from oh, it's Obey. You guys are losing steam and apologetics are kicking your ass lately. Ha 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 ha. Obey, you subscribe. Obey, did you subscribe just to spam my chat? Oh my gosh. I'm so excited. I've got a dedicated spammer because you have to be subscribed to talk in the chat. Oh my gosh. I'm so popular. I've got a guy spamming my chat. He subscribed just to spam me. Oh, I've made it. I've truly made it. I can't get more than 10 viewers at a time, but I've got a dedicated spammer. A dedicated spammer to that doesn't want to have a just doesn't want to have a nice conversation. Like I want to have nice conversations with theists. I do. That's the whole point of secular sunrise is to so I don't hold the position that like a theist can't be secular. You know, like secularity does not necessarily entail atheism. Now I'm personally an atheist. But being secular, supporting sciences, supporting data, supporting humans and doing it in a demonstrable data-backed way, in my opinion, it's part of what being secular is. Doesn't isn't necessarily limited to atheism or agnostics. Theists can do it too, as long as you're willing to say, "Hey, maybe my scriptures really were 2,000 years old and we live in 2026 now." Mm. Oh, gosh. Gosh. I really would like Obey to give an example though. Like what is he talking about? But yeah, I do think theists can be secular. I don't think there needs to be a dividing line between atheists and theists. Now I know there are plenty of atheists who are former theists who have um personal traumatic issues with theism. And for those people, I'd say, hey, let's stay away from the theism for them. That's fine. But there's no reason you can't be a theist and still support good science education, healthy approaches to medicine, a general want for the betterment of human flourishing. You don't need to be an anti-theist or an atheist for that. You might need to stay away from being an evangelical nutbag, but by and large, I think we all kind of want the same things. We just disagree on the specifics. I am curious though. JP do has a great question though, Obe. Obe, who is your favorite or best apologist? That's a good question. Who's your favorite apologist? Hmm. Who is your favorite apologist? That's a tough question. That's a really, really tough question. Could you imagine, like, who is your favorite apologist? I don't really have a favorite apologist. I forgot to start the stage in Discord, by the way. I'm sorry about that. In case anybody wants to jump in the Discord and say hi. I should have done that. um, I'm not sure I have a favorite apologist. You know what I mean? I'm trying to think like, gosh, of all the apologists out there, Frank Turk, no. I'm not even like I won't question it, but I'm not convinced that Frank Turek believes half of the stuff he says. I guess for maybe entertainment value, I'd have to go with like a Matt Powell or a Kent Hovind, maybe a Ken Ham, just on pure entertainment value, on like pure monkey spectacle. Definitely. Um, yeah, I could definitely see that. But like but somebody I would honestly like share a coffee with maybe. Like somebody an apologist, not just a theist, but an apologist. I would be like, hey, let's stop at Starbucks and chat. Trent Horn, he might be one of those guys that I could do that with. A Trent Horn type of apologist. Sean McDowell. Sean McDowell is at least I think Sean McDowell is actually like legitimately honest about his faith, but he's also shown a sense of being reasonable about some claims. Like he's backed off claims that are just like a little too strong. He can't back them up. So maybe like a Sean McDowell. Um, I might be convinced to like share a coffee at like Dunkin' Donuts with like Mike Winger, just because Mike Winger does seem like really enthusiastic. Though I think maybe he's lacking in the education department a bit. But he's also one of those apologists who's like kind of refuses to change his stance on things even when he's shown data. That's why like Sean McDowell's kind of like up there for me. I'm like, I don't really like the things he says. I'm not quite sure he's great politically, but somebody I could at least like talk to is probably Sean. Trent Horn may be on the talk to list. Other apologists, though, that I would actually speak with. Not a Frank Turk, not a Cliff Connectley, not his son. Certainly not Ray Comfort. I would definitely not do a Ray Comfort. I'd stay far away from a Gary Habermas. Um, Gosh, who's my favorite? Yeah, I'd have to say probably Sean McDowell is probably my favorite apologist, just because he's willing to soften his tone on statements. He's not entirely open to being corrected, but eh, I'll give him that. Even St. Thomas Aquinas argued for secular society. That's the purpose of the governments was to promote the common good and not lead people to salvation. I agree. St. Thomas St. Thomas Aquinas was very much of the mindset. If you read his works and works that spoke about him, he took a very hardline stance on render unto Caesar what is Caesar's. And so he made the theological leap from worldly governments should deal with the worldly issues, while the church should deal with theological issues. Um, and so that's kind of why I feel like a lot of people, generally Christians in general, but Catholics mostly, should be secular about things. But I mean, that's to each their own, right? Atheism sucks. I can't believe I was once an atheist. What is it about? What is it about atheism that sucks exactly? That's what I'd like to know. What sucks about atheism? Well, there is the lack of community, although there's a lot of secular organizations that are trying to fill that void. Things like NanoCon, um, Rocket City Reason, that sort of stuff. Personally, I won't be attending things like that. By the way, not for any particular reason against such things, but because I have a general rule of not attending conventions per se. Um, I find conventions not to be distasteful, but to be overwhelming. Like, I get very, very overstimulated by conventions. And I have every single time I've gone to conventions, MagFest, South by Southwest, PAX East, um, GDC, well, GDC less so, but every time I've gone to conventions in general, I've had a major, major like crash afterwards, like a bad emotional crash. It took me a really long time to realize what was going on. I thought maybe I was just a piece of shit, and I probably am. Like, let's be honest, all right? Like, if you knew me before you knew me as Felicia, yeah, I mean, I'll admit I was a giant piece of shit, right? Like, I still probably am to a very large degree, but like, for me, conventions are definitely like I have this weird social battery thing going on where I have a very bad crash out afterwards, and it has nothing to do with like drama that happens or anything like that. It's just me. Like, you put me in a high density area with a lot of people and a lot of stimulation for an entire weekend. That, right afterwards, for maybe months afterwards, I am the worst person you could possibly know, and it's a very, very clear pattern. So conventions, as a rule, I kind of don't do. Um, I sort of avoid them. It's nothing personal, like against people who run conventions or conventions themselves or anything like that. It's a personal rule for me. Plus, there's a lot of, I don't want to say shady things that go on at conventions. There's a lot of human things that go on at conventions. Human things I'm not really like good at. I'm not good at relationships. I'm not good at the social pecking order. Um, I'm not good at meeting impromptu expectations or things like that. I'm really bad at that stuff. So like I try to tend to avoid them unless I'm invited to be there for like a specific time or a specific reason. I tend to avoid them. I don't know. Like, when things come to like high intensity social like gatherings, I'm just so I much I'm the type of girl that really prefers like a group of like 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 people at like a book club. It's so stupid. I'm like the world's most boring person. It's ridiculous. Like I prefer to have like an intimate conversation with like a few people rather than have conversations with like 1,000 people, you know? The only exception I'll make, I generally tend to make is conferences, like a well-run conference. I helped run the live streams for Gnome Decks years ago and other conferences like GDC, where you had a set schedule, you had keynote speakers, you had a specific track you follow, and it is a very clear through line. There's the start of the day, there's the midday break, there's coffee, and there's speaker after speaker after speaker with a very set professional, I guess we'll call it, expectation. So I I much prefer the conference track, which a conference that'll last a day, not like 3 days of conference nonsense. That I can only do so much. But like a day, like a conference, like a Friday or a Saturday conference. The Tasty Trade folks, they do their tours, their shows, but they're really conferences. They're really awesome conferences, where they have a bunch of speakers speaking on things, on subjects, and it's very well orchestrated, well organized, and then you leave, and it's fine. Like I could do that, but if you put me in a high friction social setting where I've got to mingle and stuff, man, there's a crash coming, and it's bad. It's bad. I know it's bad. So I avoid the crap out of conventions. I'm so bad at them. So bad at them. Let's see here. What did I miss? What did I miss? I missed a few chats. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, chat. Um, you guys started this conflict by being one-sided and only attacking Christian, and when you attack, you guys should expect a reaction. Attack Obi, you understand that atheism, by and large, in America and Western society, is a reaction to essentially Christianity because that's the dominant religion, right? Like you understand that. Plus, I mean, counter apologetics against religions like Islam is very difficult because Islam itself is a presuppositional religion. And that has to do with a lot of things, not just Muhammad and the Quran, but the culture that Islam was born of, as well as the time period it was born in as well. God was considered just basically the standard of everything at that point, and so it was just presumed that God existed. There was no such thing as the modern atheist. Well, I mean, there kind of was, but not really. So like attacking Islam is a different beast. Judaism is kind of different, depends on which sect of Judaism you're talking to. Other religions that have gods in them, potentially. I don't necessarily attack process theologians because a process theologian, by and large, is kind of cool. Like they're just like, yeah, man, we're all part of the everything, and the everything's just God evolving, and it's like, okay, you people are cool, so whatever, I got no problem with you. But in terms of like every other religion, like I've never had a sheik tell me I'm gonna burn in hell because I didn't believe in whatever sheiks believe in, right? Like I've never had a sheik do that. I've never had I've never had a Shintoist or a Buddhist or a Hindu tell me that my immortal soul is going to be tortured for eternity because I didn't kneel to their whims, you know? So like I don't really understand, Obi. I don't understand. JP, if I were to pick a favorite apologist, it would be either Cardinal Newman or Boethius. Unfortunately, both are dead, so I couldn't have coffee with them. I was kind of I was kind of approaching that question from those who are still alive. And the worst part, you guys didn't realize how dangerous your actions are, and even Bartman and Peterson warn you. Bartman and Peterson warn you, guys, for pushing the wall, and now you guys are now as toxic. Bart. Obi, who the fuck is Bartman? And why do I care about Jordan Peterson? Why do I give a rat's ass about somebody like Jordan Peterson who does nothing but he's basically a random word salad generator? Like he doesn't even speak in he doesn't even speak in rationally grounded topics. He hasn't for such a long time. He just like runs he just runs like circles with like word salad. What do I care about Jordan fuck Peterson? Get out of here. Uh, let's see. No, you guys didn't realize your actions was creating a spiritual vacuum which created an opportunity for dangerous religions to fill it. Now Christian apologetic are now fixing it. Logic maybe? The spiritual vacuum of atheism? Okay. Sure, spiritual vacuum. We'll go with spiritual vacuum. Hey, Valerie, good to see you. Good to see you, Val. Most atheist creators that I watch are based in the U.S. The vast majority of religious people here are Christian. Hey, Jessica, Trans Metal Alchemist. Great to see you again. Thank you so much for coming, especially because it's so late out there in Aussie land. Atheists started the Catholic Inquisition. See the one-sided acquisition. Acquisitions are generally one-sided unless it's a trade in sports. Judaism isn't evangelical. I mean, yeah, I agree, Valerie. That's generally not evangelical. It's a very interesting religion, very interesting to discuss with the Jewish apologists because it depends on which form of Judaism they take. And generally speaking, I've never really had a problem with Jewish apologists. Some of them are a little strict in their interpretations of things, but they really generally just want to debate the Bible with you. I'm sorry, debate the Torah with you, or the Tanakh. But I'm not interested in that, so I just like, hey, man, you do you, you have fun. So whatever, I'm cool with that. You wanna yell about your holy book, you can yell about your holy book all day long. That's fine. You can have fun with that as long as you're not yelling about your holy book in a way that demands that I also yell about your holy book. I'm cool with that. Ah, GP, it's good to see you. Judaism isn't evangelicalism, but are carrying out evil act in the name of religion. Do you guys condemn the Jewish man who assaulted a Catholic nun? Because I doubt if you guys do the do what? What does that have to do with anything? One person attacked another person. What is that? What does their religion have to do with anything? Obi, what world are you inhabiting, buddy? I'm waiting for this, Obi. What world are you inhabiting? Thank you, Faye, for deleting that message. What did he say? Ah, oh, he double posted. Okay. Listen, I'm catching up, Obe. All right, I don't know what you want. Like I condemn assault in general. What does a Jewish person and a Catholic person have to do with assault? What does that have to do with anything? A Muslim person beheads somebody and throws their corpse off a roof. Does it matter that the person's Muslim? Did it matter that the person was gay? No, neither one of those facts is relevant. It, there may be a broader topic we can approach with that, with literalism or not literalism. What's the word? Extremism, I guess. There's a broader topic we can broach there. Christian extremists exist as well, but I don't think the person being Muslim or the person being Christian or Jewish or a Shinto or a Sikh or anything has anything to do with the act the person does. The person still does an act that's deplorable. So, like, what does a Jewish person assaulting a Catholic nun have anything to do with anything other than one person violated another person? Why would I not condemn that? Who doesn't condemn that? I mean, what I don't even know what the story is, Obi. Like you just randomly blurting out scenarios. Like, okay, a Jewish man assaults a Catholic nun. Do you condemn that? Yes. What the What? What? What is this, Obe? What are you talking about? Oh, Jessica's from Melbourne. I got to Jessica, one of these days, I'm gonna visit Australia. We have to catch up for coffee or something. It's gonna be great. I really need to get to Australia one of these years. I've never been. I really want to go. Now, do a YouTube video on that instead of attacking one group and ignoring the other side. Obi, why? What what am I gonna do a video on that for? What? I don't even know what you're talking about, Obi. You're just like you want me to start doing YouTube videos about. This is so ridiculous. I don't even know what you're talking about at this point, dude. This is just like what? I'm so confused. So you want me to do a YouTube video on a hypothetical situation where a Jewish man assaults a Catholic nun? What do you want me to break down about that? Like, what, 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 what am I supposed to say? How am I supposed to turn that into anything more than 30 seconds? Oh, Obi. Woo, this is a good way to start Monday, Obi. Oh, what a good way to start a Monday. What are you talking about, dude? Mm. Ah, 20 minutes into my morning, and I've had a very good laugh thanks to Obe. Thank you, Obe. I appreciate that. I don't know how to turn that into a video. I don't know what the topic of the video should be. I don't, yeah. Wow. Talk about that instead of talking about apologists or counter apologetics. That's not even what my channel's about. Like, my channel's not even about that. My channel's about, like, digging into various arguments. Because, like, the arguments for faith are it makes me feel good, and a lot of other people do it. I'm a social creature, and therefore I do the social thing that makes me feel good. That's an argument I can't really argue against, you know? But all of the other arguments, they're just like, wow, there's so much there's so much critical thinking at fault there that it's like, what type of we can really break it down. That's why like I'm having such a hard time picturing what you want me to discuss here. Like what sort of critical thinking faculties are at fault when one person assaults another person? Like how would you break that down? Like, well, this person thought assaulting this other person was a good idea. That's demonstrably not a good idea because now he's in prison, so there's your video. Oh Lord. Obe, you are wild, Obe. You are so wild. You're like my favorite troll. You're honestly the only reason you haven't been banned is because you are like so wildly out there and just so disconnected from everything else going on. It's amazing. Oh man, it's amazing. Millions of people are starving all over the world. Why aren't you out helping them right now instead of here? Well, I mean, to be fair, Valier, we're all here too. We're not. It's not like we're all out feeding the homeless. We're sitting in front of our multi-thousand-dollar machines, paying how only we only know how much money to our ISPs in order to stream or watch me stream with a very small number of people. Try to get our Mondays started off the right way. So I mean, it's not like we're doing a whole heck of a lot better, Val. It's not like we're doing a whole heck of a lot better. So I'm not gonna condemn him for not doing his Christian duty at 7:30 in the morning. I'll condemn him for a lot of other things, but I will be eternally amused by Obi. He's so special. Like at least Obi is like so disconnected from everything that's going on in the live stream and the chat that it's legitimately amusing. Unlike like a lot of other people, like Obe literally subscribed to the channel just to be in the chat to spam his ridiculous, like, so many other people, like tag proponents, presuppositionalists, other Christians won't actually subscribe just to spam the channel, but Obey did. Like, that's a level of dedication that I have to respect. Like, I legitimately have to respect it. Like, the guy has, like this steel, this steelness to him that I have to tip my hat to. I just have to tip my hat to him. These statements aren't connected. I agree. And I focus on building the society and ensuring that such a thing doesn't occur again, unlike someone who keep up bringing the past and always having the victim mentality. Haha. Oh, but I don't think you realize your entire thing has been victim mentality at this point. Your entire argument has been in victim mentality. This is what I find so weird about people sometimes. They'll scream about atheists being mean to Christians and then scream about the left having a victim mentality. Which, by the way, I'm not left wing. But they'll scream about that without realizing that they were having a victim mentality the entire time. Very strange. Very strange. Oh God. Obey, obey, obey. You're gonna get in timeout soon, Obey. You're gonna get timeout soon, bud. I mean, this is pot meat kettle level of stuff. Anyway, here's something interesting. Marco Rubio, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, he's apparently going to head to Rome to meet with Pope Leo the 14th in an attempt to mend the relationship between the U.S. and the Vatican. That's right, not Donald Trump, not J.D. Vance. You know, the Catholic. Marco Rubio is heading to Rome to mend the relationship between the Vatican and the United States. Oh, Thursday and Friday, where he's reportedly going to meet with the Pope. He'll also probably meet the Vatican Secretary of State Pietro Parolin and Antonio Tajani, Italy's Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Ministers. So there you go. This is gonna. Apparently, Rubio himself requested an audience with the Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni, but the request was reportedly denied. Italian Prime Minister telling the U.S. Secretary of State to get bent. Nice. I don't know. I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you guys think about Marco Rubio of all people trying to meet with the Pope? I don't know how well that's going to go. That's going to be interesting. That's going to be very interesting. But am not doing to gain attention, but rather doing in the hope of a better. You hope, Obey? Do you honestly think that spamming my chat is going to make a better world, Obey? I mean, honestly, do you honestly think that? You honestly think spamming my chat with anger emojis and nonsense like that is making the world a better place? You think you're changing anyone's mind from being an atheist by mocking them? No, Obi, you're not. You're just entertainment fodder for us at 7:30 in the morning. God, Marco Rubio sending your best. I don't get it. What is this administration think is doing? This is not going to repair the bridge between the Vatican and the United States because the bridge is Donald Trump. That's what's burned the bridge down. Like every other head of state would just ignore what the Pope had to say. They would just be like, "Yeah, he's the Pope, and he deals with theological issues, but this is our war. We've got to do whatever we've got to do, whatever." Instead of just attacking the Pope, like, come on, man. Oh, very strange. Very, very strange. Do you think? You think? Oh no. You guys think Donald Trump wants to be a saint? You think you think that's what this is about? Donald Trump wants to be a saint, and so he wants to try and repair the relationship with the Catholic Church. Oh no. No, 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 no. There's There's no sainthood waiting for you, Donald. There's no sainthood waiting for you. Oh, no, 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 no. Mm-mm, mm-mm. That's not good. That's not a good idea. I can't imagine this, like I can so here's the deal. Like, oddly enough, Marco Rubio's probably the best choice to amend relationships between the two, between the US and the Vatican, because Donald Trump's the lunatic. He's just an absolute narcissistic loon bag, right? And JD Vance is not exactly like the most sane person ever. JD Vance's eyeliner is like gonna wash off in the rain one day, and he's he's gonna be in a he's gonna be, a member of the Black Parade. I mean, JD Vance not such a great pick to meet with the Pope. Marco Rubio's probably the most sensible pick out of all of them. Out of that out of that entire circus to meet with the Pope to try and mend relationships, but like you can already tell just how on edge relationship is with Italy of all places when Italy is defending the Vatican and denying meeting with the Secretary of State. Oh, I don't know. What is the US doing? What is my country doing? My country's the shithole. It really is. It's so stupid. It's so like I knew Trump 2 Electric Boogaloo was gonna be ridiculous. Like I knew Trump 2 Electric Boogaloo was gonna be way worse than anything any of us could have imagined. I just didn't think it was gonna be this stupid. Like I literally just didn't think it could be that stupid. But here we are. Here we are. And it's an amazing, 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 amazing timeline we live in. Just an amazing timeline we live in. Let's see what we got here. Jesus and what's not my best Catholic apologetic for my generation. That's weird. He made me realize Catholic are cool people. Okay. Who's yeah. JP, can you name anyone who is sane or competent in the current administration? Um, Let me check. Uh, why? Um, well, no, Scott Bessonette is insane. Christy Nome is an absolute ridiculous security risk. Doug Burgum's nutty as hell. Sean Duffy has no idea how transportation works. Doug Collins probably doesn't give a rat's ass about actual veterans. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Oof. Christopher Wright doesn't really understand energy all that well and isn't qualified to be Secretary of Energy. Scott Turner is a mass suburban developer that makes McMansions. No. Tulsi Gabbard is actively being worked against by people inside the NSA because they don't trust her. They think she's a Chinese agent. Director of the scene. Oh, John Ratcliffe. John Ratcliffe might actually be somebody who's somewhat competent. I mean, not like the best competent person, but I mean compared to the rest of them. Lee Zeldin, the EPA administration is trying to dismantle the EPA. Trade Representative Greer, I don't know about Greer, and Kelly Loeffler. Oh, Kelly Loeffler, small business administrator. Oh, she's not very smart when it comes to small business. I would say the director of the CIA, John Ratcliffe, is probably the most qualified out of all of them. I think Tulsi Gabbard is actively being worked against by her own intelligence apparatus because they view her as a asset to other agencies. Yeah, I don't find them all to be very competent. Oh, ooh. Oh yeah, yeah. I had Splendid in my Dunkin' this morning. That's right. I just had a cup of pure black coffee, and then I had, and then I was like, oh yeah, no, I've got some Dunkin' left over. Let me have. I have a coffee problem. I'm just admitting this. Hello, my name is Felicia Mirabelle. I have a coffee addiction. All right. To be fair, though, this is really the prop. Okay, this is just the morning show prop. I'm sorry. This is the real coffee fiend right here. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I've broken the illusion. I'm a terrible, terrible podcaster. Oh, Joe Rogan, save me. Uh, oh Lord, help me. Hello, gamers. Hello, Dusk. Good to see you. Oh, wait. At least I condemn them and make sure each event never occurred again, and we learn from our mistakes. Unlike you guys acting like a victim and always bringing up the past, that is called immaturity. Obe, Obe, you, yeah, you, no, Obe. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Do you guys condemn Lenin, Stalin, and Mao for their actions? And by the way, Hitler and Mussolini are not Catholic. Technically, he's right. Te- Technically speaking, he's right. Hitler and Mussolini were they excommunicated? Hang on, I gotta look that up. Hang on. Okay, no, never mind. He's well. I mean, they argue. He's never formally been excommunicated. However, he did commit genocide. So theologically speaking, within the internal mechanism of the Catholic Church, Adolf Hitler was excommunicated because there are certain grievous sins that automatically excommunicate you. Although he was baptized a Catholic, he never disavowed his Catholicism. And being excommunicated doesn't necessarily stop you from being Catholic. It just stops you from participating in the sacraments. That's an interesting philosophical question. See, the philosophical question of if God exists, I find completely boring and redundant and stupid. That is an interesting question. Is Adolf Hitler or was Adolf Hitler a Catholic at his death? He committed suicide. So, outside of the grievous sins he committed, the suicide thing would excommunicate him as well. But then he'd be dead, so it wouldn't matter, so he couldn't take part of the sacrament anyway. He would still technically be Catholic. No, he's right. No. Hitler was definitely Catholic, Obe. So no, you're not technically correct. Hitler was definitely Catholic. Um and I mean, you could technically like say it was heresy. You could absolutely make the argument for apostasy. So a formal declaration would be technically redundant. Hmm. That's an interesting debate. A very interesting debate. Although I think technically he'd still be a Catholic because he never renounced being a Catholic. So that's the thing about being a Catholic is really weird because once a Catholic, always a Catholic unless you like renounce it. Like being excommunicated doesn't mean not being a Catholic. It means not participating in the sacrament. So, hmm. I mean, does it matter? I guess I don't know. It's a very interesting question. Seahost is acknowledging Hitler was excommunicated. Yeah, but excommunication doesn't mean Bro, you are quite the specimen, Felicia. Why, thank you. I'm so glad you have, how could I obtain your physique? My physique? Get 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 implants. I don't my physique. Stop it. Please. I have so many other things to talk about, and you're gonna start making fun of my body now. Really? Absolutely. Absolutely stupid. Um what a strange conversation going on in my chat between Obe and JP. Very strange conversation going on. I'm definitely not a Catholic, but I'm definitely a catholic. A catholic. I'm an opiaholic. I'm absolutely I'm such a slut for opossums. It's ridiculous. Like you send me a picture of an opossum, and I'm just like, that's my life now for the next 20 minutes. That's that's my life now. You send me a picture of an opossum, that's my life now. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. You send me a picture of an opossum, ladies and gentlemen, and we are like the best friends ever. It's that simple. Ooh, I also love muselids, eh? Are you a fellow? Oh, you're a fellow muselid lover as well. Mmm. Weasels, badgers, otters. Do you like the weasels and the badger? Or do you like weasels more than badgers, more than wolverines, or which one do you like, Duck? Because I have to admit, the like is as crazy as like the honey badger seems. Gosh, they're kind of cute, right? Like I kind of want to boop their noses, but I also want to keep my fingers. Can you sing, Felicia? Your voice is just simply melodic. Oh dear. Oh dear. Are we gonna dive into? Are we gonna dive into? Gee, you have such a deep voice. Transphobia stuff now. Is that what we're gonna do? Oh dear. Oh dear. Otters, ferrets, and stoats are my favorite. Oh, stoats. Dusk. I had such a problem with stoats. I had such a problem with stoats for a while. They're wonderful creatures, and they're ridiculously infinitely curious too. Like, gosh, they are ridiculously. They're too curious for organs, and they're kind of like crazy easy to like befriend. Like the thing about stoats are like once they get inside your house because they found a mouse or something, they'll like always come back. And if you slowly feed them, they'll stop like they'll stop running away from you and they'll like start being you have a rare elegance to you. Oh my. I'm I'm flattered. You think I have an elegance about me. I am not an elegant human being, but thank you. But stoats are ridiculously curious. Like they're actually kind of easy to befriend. Like if you build up like a trusting relationship about you being around food that they eat, they'll slowly like start to take food from your hand. Like it takes a while, but they'll look at you and they'll be like, what, what, what is that? What are you? What are you? Should I be afraid of you? What are you? They they're so cool. They're such cool little animals. They're just annoying as hell because they're so noisy. That's why I like opossums because the opossum's just like, I'm gonna sleep 18 hours a day. Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. I'm gonna sleep 18 hours a day. Gosh, that's what I wanna do. I wanna sleep 18 hours a day. Can somebody help me make, like, an indie game studio or a software as a service where I get to sleep 18 hours a day? Ooh, ooh, I know. We're gonna make the anti-game. Let's make the anti-game and release it on Steam. We'll call it the 18-hour a day sleeping simulator. Mm. Yeah, oh no, it'll be the Opossum Tamagotchi game where it's like for 18 hours a day you can't play it. And then you can only play it during certain hours at night. And then, and then 18 hours of the day the game's just like, nah. Nah, we sleeping. That is a stupid game. Just the anti-game. 18 hours a day, it doesn't let you play. And then 6 hours a day at nighttime, just 6 hours a day from, like, 11 PM to, like, 5 AM, it'll let you play. And then it's like, "Oh, nope, time for me to go to sleep again, bye." Oh, man. Oh, no. Yeah, I kinda wanna release the anti-game now on Steam. I wanna make the anti-game. Oh gosh. I need a graphics artist. I need a 2D pixel graphics artist to help me make the anti-game. Oh, what a stupid game idea. Oh, what a stupid game idea. I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you for helping me come up with it, chat. Thank you. Thank you for policing the chat, Faye. I appreciate it. Also here in Australia, we do have all sorts of possums. Yes, Dusk, you do have very different things to opossums called the possum, and they're still pretty cool little animals, though. I do like the opossum more, but it's just me. I'm sorry. Obey, let go of your victim mentality. That is why apologetic from different denominations of Christianity are trying their best to build bridges and discourage attacks on each other. That is maturity. I don't know what you're saying anymore, Obey. I really don't. Christianity is false. What do you mean? Oh, well. Protestants apologetic working with Catholic apologetic and Eastern Orthodox apologetic in defending their faith. I mean, it's just apologetics, like because the core of the apologetic is to keep the faith active. Like it doesn't matter that they work together. Different forms of atheists work together as well. Different atheists have different belief structures as well. I'm not a Matt Dillahunty, um, materialistic naturalist. I'm not a I'm much more of a I'm much more of a pragmatic emergentist, I guess is one way you would describe it. I refer to it as relational atheism because it's so much catchier to say than pragmatic anti-cruelty pragmatic emergentist. It's like, oh, okay, cool. I just go with relational atheist because that's just so much catchier. It's like, what philosophical school of thought do you hang on to? "Oh, relational atheism. What the fuck is that? Well, it's an anti-cruelty flavor of pragmatic emergentism. Huh? Oh, oh Lord, I'm tired. I want to go to sleep. Somebody, please let me nap. Please give me a pillow. I'll nap. To answer your question, by the way, to legitimately answer your question, what is it? AJ in the chat, I think. By the way, I have to look closer at the monitor because I have a 30-inch 4K monitor, and like you guys are all like in the upper left. I use Sway Window Manager, so it tiles everything automatically. You guys are in the upper left hand corner of the screen, which is my hand is not even like reaching it at this point. But to answer your question legitimately, I do enjoy singing. I sing off key, unfortunately, so I have a hard time with my hearing, and so I don't hit key very well. I've practiced that on and off, but I'm just not very good at it. So because there's my C's and my E's, I can't differentiate. I have a really hard time with that. I can differentiate between C and D. C and E, I have a real hard time with, and so I have a very difficult time with that. But yes, I do enjoy singing. Thank you for asking. Um, oh yes, the gnomes for Jeebus. Yes, Faye, the gnomes for Jeebus. Um, It's unfortunately, it's not Gnomes for Jeebus season. You know, it's past that. We have to wait till next April for Gnomes for Jeebus. It's very unfortunate, very sad that the Jeebus gnomes only come out once a year to hide the body. Shucks. Every year, those gnomes, man, they steal Jesus's body from us, and we don't get the proof that we need to believe. It's a real shame. It's a real shame how every year Jesus comes back from the dead and they just steal the body. Those damn gnomes. Bastards. Probably hiding in a dwarf fortress somewhere. Mm. Don't know what to think about them. I'm an atheist gnomist. It's like regular atheism, but with gnomes. You mean Gnostic atheist? No, but he means gnomist. It's atheism, but we have gnomes. You can join our side. You can talk. You can commune with the gnomes too. They're not gods or anything, but you can just like chill with them. They're cool. You know, they're just gnomes, like David the gnome. Had a whole cartoon about him. They live for a few hundred years and then they just turn to statues. They sit out in your garden. We decorate our gardens with the corpses of gnomes. Well, technically, I think David the gnome turned into a bird, right? Yeah, I think the ending of David the gnome, he turned into a bird. I think that's what the ending of David the gnome was. I don't remember. I like the idea of gnomes turning into statues, though, that we put out into our front lawns. we decorate our lawns with the corpses of the gnomes. So to get back at us, they steal our socks. That's it. I like that. I like this. I like this. We now have officially have gnome theology for atheism. It's why we can't have the body of Jesus because the gnomes steal it every year. It's why we miss socks because they're angry at us for putting their corpses on our front lawns because when they die, they turn into gnome statues. I approve of this gnome theology. I like this gnome theology. Hey, Godless Granny, so good to see you. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. I'm sorry for the subscription necessitation, Granny, but unfortunately, somebody of my unique persuasion tends to attract a lot of the wrong type of conversations, and so it's an effort to attract the correct type of conversation. Though we seem to be having the incorrect type of conversation with Obi in the chat, but with a very very entertaining flair. I might take to banning Obi from the chat once a week just to have him on Monday mornings, just so he can spam us on Monday mornings. Oh, excuse me, dump truck. Could you please chill out there? Jeez. You were supposed to come yesterday, not Monday morning, while I'm doing my show. Rude. Very rude. Yes, the gnome theology of atheism. In case somebody ever asks or ever insists that atheists don't believe in the supernatural, just tell them you're not a Gnostic or an agnostic atheist, you're a gnome theist. You're a gnome atheist. You believe every year when Jesus rises from the dead, gnomes actually steal his body and prevent us atheists from witnessing the resurrection miracle ourselves and keeping us skeptics forever. And they also steal our socks because they're mad at us. They're mad at us because we put their corpses turn to statues and we put them on our front lawns. So when somebody says atheists don't believe in the supernatural, you can say, that's nonsense. I believe in the gnomes. Prove me wrong, bro. Prove me wrong. Excuse me, dump truck is something I now have to say all the time. I thought the dryer took the socks. No, that's what they want you to think, Granny. Kelly, that's what they want you to think. It's the gnomes. It's not your dryer, it's the gnomes. And the leprechauns. Well, the leprechauns, they're busy snorting gold dust, you know, so they don't really take the socks. I'm out, guys. Hope you will be inclusive, criticizing religion, and I mean all religions. Goodbye, Obi. Goodbye, Obi. We won't miss you. Gotta listen to him the rest of the week. Well, I don't really have to. I can just mute him. I don't have to deal with that nonsense. No, I won't be inclusive in criticizing religions because I haven't really been criticizing religion all morning. It's just been the show to get the day off started right. That's all. And you know what? We got the week off started right this morning. I really think we did. We had some really good conversation this morning. We had, we had some discussions about opossums. We had discussions about weasels and stoats. Had discussions about Marco Rubio meeting with the Pope to try and repair relations with the Trump administration and the Vatican, which is going to go spectacularly south, I can just tell. It was a good morning. It was a very good morning. And Godless Granny showed up. JP was here. Faye was here. The Transmetal Alchemist was here. Faye was here. And our favorite Obi was here. It was a good day. It was a good morning getting the week off started just the right way. I'll be inclusive on criticizing all religions. They all have human-made gods. I agree. They all have human-made gods, Kelly. Every single one of them has a human-made god. But it's not about necessarily criticizing the religion or criticizing theism that I'm interested in. It's about criticizing the thought process. Like, I'm okay if somebody has faith, right? Like, I'm cool with that. If you want to have faith in something, go ahead and have faith in something. I don't necessarily have a problem with that. What I have a problem with is using that faith as a weapon. That's what I have a problem with. Because I feel like if you have faith, but you can have good conversations and you're not trying to use faith as a weapon. And I feel like we can really have a good conversation about your faith, about critical thought, about analysis. If you're willing to have that conversation, I feel like that's not a lost cause, right? But if you're at the point where you're just using philosophy as an excuse to shield your faith, then I don't feel like we can have a good conversation. Because I feel like you've tried to use the English language to shield you from criticism. When in reality, all you're doing is making critical thinking errors, I feel like that's more dishonest than people want to admit. Like, philosophy is fine for what it is, if it's allowed to be what it is. Philosophy is not fine when it starts to make absolute statements about reality as we observe it. Because if you just use philosophy alone, if you don't base your philosophy off something empirically observable, then it's really not worth it to me. It's just kind of like word salad. It's definitional soup to me. So if you can't observe something, right? You can't observe something having a direct cause, not just a metaphysical cause, not just this feels good, but in something that we can measure. Then all you're doing is using philosophy as a shield to protect your faith from much deeper internal critiques that make the faith so flawed. But if you just have faith in something, like let's say you're Wiccan, right? Let's say you're pagan. Let's say you worship the Norse gods and you legitimately worship them, right? Let's not say you're doing it just out of like some weird spiteful thing, right? Let's say you actually do that. And you're not actually trying to philosophically shield your faith from criticism. That's a much more honest position than somebody who has to hide behind deep metaphysical dependencies to shield them from the fact that their book says horrendous things. I can at least respect the Catholic who takes the interpretive approach to the Bible. I can respect the process theologian who takes the excusagist approach to the Bible by saying, well, God's evolving and thus his style of communication with humans is also evolving. You can break that down however you want to do that. I mean, go read Dr. J. Ord if you really want to understand process theology. Um, it leads to a much more inclusive and much more sane view on theism than say evangelical Christianity. Like if you just want to acknowledge that your scriptures have flaws in them, but you still believe in a God and this is the best description of a God and the best general rules of thumb, if you want that, fine. If you like the general rules of thumb thing and you just think there are some really good catchy sayings that really stick with you, that's fine. If you think, however, that for some reason the Bible is a literal workbook for how to be a human being, you have a lot of things to explain. And that's why you have to hide behind metaphysical arguments, because it's a foggy shield to try and protect you from the fact that your book's kind of shitty. Like, imagine this argument. Imagine, and I'm going to leave you on this thought before I end the show for the day. But I just want to leave you on this thought. Imagine this argument: the Ten Commandments are literally true, and the Bible explains how human beings should behave, and it's the morally correct position to take. Okay. If the Bible is the morally correct position to take and the Ten Commandments outline 10 rules for living a moral lifestyle, then why doesn't the Bible or the Ten Commandments, which outline murder, not killing, but murder, as an evil, why doesn't the Bible give us advice on washing our hands after we poop? This is what I'd like to call what I like to think of as the problem of the pragmatic reality of the Bible. More people have had harm done to them over the course of history by the failure of the human species to understand hygiene, basic hygiene, such as washing your hand after you poop, washing your hands before you prepare food. More harm has been done, more food poisoning has been done, and arguably, probably, and realistically, more than likely, more young and elderly and enfeebled people have died from this than have been murdered outright, as the Bible would see murder. Why doesn't the Bible instruct you to do that? And more importantly, since the Bible doesn't instruct you to maintain good hygiene and good hygienic practices, and doesn't give you any advice that that cleaning your hands after you poop is the best idea, why then would you consider the Bible to be morally correct? It's got some glaring flaws in it. It's got some very glaring flaws in it. But if you view the Bible as interpretive, and you view the Bible through a historically critical lens, I can at least respect that position. I may not believe it. I may not believe your faith, but I can at least respect that position much more than I can respect somebody who takes the Bible super literally. Anyway, folks, it's been a great morning. Hello, Ryan. Thank you for stopping by. It's good to see you. Please don't forget to hit the like button. Please don't forget to subscribe. We're here every morning at 7 a.m. Eastern to help the secular person. And secular people aren't just atheists. Secular people can be theists as well. But we're here to help the secular person have a good day. Maybe we have a laugh. Maybe we joke. Maybe we smile. But that's what we're here for. We're here to have a good secular sunrise and talk about making life better for everybody. Process theology was something I read a lot as an open theist. It was, I think, the best view of God. It is still problematic. It is problematic, Ed. It is. It is. It's better, I think. It still has problems, but it's better. That's why I lead people towards process theology a little bit more than I do towards, say, Catholicism or another version of Christianity. Because at the very least, it gets you to think a little bit more openly, a little bit more open mindedly. And that's really all I want. I just want people to have honest conversations about what they believe and why they believe it. Atheists, too, theists included, agnostics, whatever you believe. As long as we can agree that it makes more sense for us to have good conversations with a small group of people than to have bad conversations loudly with a large group of people. Because the small group of people, those are the people you're actually helping. Those are the people you're actually reaching. Those are the people that will have good ideas and will change your mind too, because I want my mind to change. I want my mind changed too, but I want to change in a positive way, in a good way, in a defensible way, and in a way that makes sense for somebody like me. Anyway, I'm 10 minutes late for work. So I'll see everybody tomorrow morning, bright and early, 7 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Central, for more Secular Sunrise. Until then, cheers, folks. Have a good morning. Have a good rest of your day. And if I don't see you, have a good rest of your week. Goodbye.